Here was my technical analysis. I sent you guys this message on Telegram. This is my secret sauce. And in comes Jerome Powell to screw up my entire life. I'll admit I was panicked. I took another $360,000 in profit. So if you want to learn how to swing trade crypto like a pro, in this video, I'm going to explain how I made $250,000 trading crypto this year. And no, it wasn't luck. No, it wasn't meme coins. And no, it wasn't just blind holding, hoping that the market goes up and just taking profits. This is one of the greatest trades that I've ever made in my entire life, and it is a accumulation of all of my trading knowledge put into this one big bet. In this video, I'm gonna explain step by step every single action that I took, every single trade that I took, and if you stick around to watch the whole thing, you will see exactly why I did what I did and how in the future you can use the exact same techniques. All right, so let's get into Bitcoin first because that's where the story started. I've been accumulating Bitcoin for a long time through all the dips, through all the pumps. And at this point right here, at the start of the year, end of 2024, beginning of 2025, I saw something that I did not like. And in order to give you a better background of history repeats itself, let's look back in time at the previous Bitcoin rally and dump. So at the end of 2020, Bitcoin was sitting at $10,000. Bitcoin then rallied up 780% in 147 days. Then over the next 100 days, Bitcoin dropped 50%. Then Bitcoin rallied again for an additional 100 days and went up 133%. Then for the next year, Bitcoin was dropping non-stop and went down 78%. This first rally here, all the way from the start of the COVID pandemic, that first swing up was just over a year. And if you know your history, we had a huge market drop at that time frame, and the most recent current massive drop was the FTX debacle. A lot of people lost a lot of money there. So from that debacle to here, we're looking at just over a year. That showed a rally of 372% in Bitcoin. And then over the next 100 days, Bitcoin dropped 30%. Then for the next 100 days, it rallied again and went up 100%. So because history tends to repeat itself and we can learn from historical pricing, we had that rally over a year, a 100-day drop, and then a 100-day rally. We had the same rally, 100-day drop, 100-day rally. So at the end of 2024, late December, of all of the Bitcoin that I've accumulated, I sold 5 of them. Over the next 120 days, we saw a drop of 25% in the price of Bitcoin. But if we shift our focus to Ethereum, we saw a 50% drop in the price there. So my logic and my math was simple on this. If Bitcoin returns to its all-time high, I'm looking at a 45% profit. If Ethereum jumped to its all-time high, I'm looking at 100% profit. So it was much more intelligent for me to not buy back into Bitcoin, but buy into Ethereum and ride that up for 100% profit instead of a 50% profit. Here was my technical analysis on Ethereum. We were trading in this wedge. We broke out to the top and then immediately dipped back in, rejected off the bottom trend, and then cascaded down. As we went down, I saw a sweep of liquidity opportunity right here. So I ended up buying 100 Ethereum at $2,000. Little did I know that Ethereum would continue down, sweeping more liquidity from this area, hitting a low of 1,380. But then over the next month, immediately shot back up above my entry price. This is a very, very strong momentum move. And you guys know what I say about momentum moves. Momentum moves usually require you to put a Fibonacci retracement tool on it. From the bottom of the swing to the top of the swing. And as price retraced, it hit right into the Fibonacci gold zone, then rejected off of it. Once it rejected off with this huge rejection candle and got up to $2,500, I sent you guys this message on Telegram. Over the next month, Ethereum went up 75%. I saw that we were getting to the top of the RSI in the overbought area, touching the 3 previous swing highs, and knowing that these crazy momentum rallies up do not last forever. As you can see here, this is on a weekly time frame. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks bullish. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks bullish. Each one of those bullish swings up lasted about a month. So it would be foolish for me to think that price could continue up after a rally like that. So I cashed out half of my position. You can see right here, I sold 47 Ethereum. I didn't want to cash out all of it because I wanted to let some of it ride just in case it would continue up. Price had a quick correction of 12% and then rallied up for the next 3 weeks. Now, once it got to $4,700, I started looking elsewhere for more confluences. That's when we need to go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the leader of all cryptos. Whatever Bitcoin does, the other cryptos follow suit. This is your early indication of what the market's going to do on everything else. So if it happens here first, either a day later or an hour later, it will happen on all other cryptos in general. There are some meme coin outliers. So again, we need to look at historical data. When we had this massive bear run, as price dropped nearly 80%, we have to look at the RSI. The RSI was massively overbought, created a higher high, and on the RSI, we created a lower high. But you guys know, you've seen this in my previous videos, this is my secret sauce. When you have an RSI divergence, and the lower high is within the 70-30 range, it's all hands on deck, bet the house. So recently we had 3 higher high structures. We had the high, we had the low, we had the higher high, we had the higher low, and now we have the higher high. This third swing high is showing another divergence on the RSI, and this swing high is within the 70-30 range. So jumping back to Ethereum, I ended up selling an additional 77 Ethereum at this point, knowing that that bearish divergence on Bitcoin had printed. Price then dropped 15%, and I kind of felt like Nostradamus. Fast forward a few days, and in comes Jerome Powell to screw up my entire life. He's the only human that I know that can say good morning and make the market move 10%. So he did his speech in Jackson Hole, and we had a crazy bullish swing up from Ethereum. I'll admit, I was panicked. I figured if I'm holding a short and it comes back up to where I sold, I'll just get back in and ride the swing up. But I knew, I had conviction that price is going to go down. So I held out. I sat on my hands. I trusted my analysis. I saw massive divergences on a weekly and daily time frame on both of these. 2 days later, Ethereum dumped, sweeping the liquidity from the previous high, having an additional drop of 12%. And this is where most traders get stuck. This is one of the most important things about these liquidity traps. Everything in your mind tells you that you were wrong. All of everything that you know before, you're an idiot, just get back in. And people get back in at the swing highs, and you would be astounded at how many people get stuck at the all-time high price of any asset, and then they just get wrecked on the way down. I trusted my analysis. I stayed strong. I didn't buy back in. And since January 1st, this has been the best sequence of trades I've ever made in my entire life. I kept dollar cost averaging Bitcoin all the way up. As I sold that nest egg, it was worth $500,000. I bought back in Ethereum when it was $2,000, using only $200,000 off of that sale of the Bitcoin, keeping $300,000 in my pocket. So on July 20th, I made $173,000 in profit. And then on August 14th, I took another $360,000 in profit. Just on the swing trade from the Ethereum, minus the cost to acquire all of this stuff, I netted a total profit of $250,000. So if you want to learn how to swing trade crypto like a pro, here is the TLDR. When you have a massive swing up, put a Fibonacci retracement tool and buy in when it hits the Fib gold zone. Sell when it reaches the all-time high. This happens over and over and over. Had the swing up, came back down, Fib gold zone, shot up. Went up, came down, Fib gold zone, shot up. Came down, Fib gold zone, shot up. When price breaks out of the RSI, makes these massive peaks up, wait for the rejection that is within the 70-30 range. That's the divergence that's going to give you the best exit for any trade in crypto ever. always on the higher time frame, either the daily or the weekly. Now, if you guys want to learn everything there is to know about divergences and liquidity sweeps and exactly what I did here, all of my knowledge, everything that I know about day trading, check out trdfloor.com. That's where you're going to get the best trading education that money can buy.